Lille send message to Manchester United over Jonathan David transfer. Lille president Olivier Letang has revealed that the club are open to selling Manchester United target Jonathan David this summer. Having decided to keep Erik ten Hag in place as manager, United's hierarchy are now working on bolstering the Dutchman's squad ahead of the new season. Ten Hag was keen for United to recruit a new forward in the January transfer window, but the club's financial position meant they were unable to make a move. Anthony Martial's departure on a free transfer has heightened United's need for a new striker, although they are still working on a restricted transfer budget in the summer transfer window. David, meanwhile, has just finished his fourth season at Lille and has scored 26 goals in 47 appearances. The 24-year-old, who also has 26 goals in 48 games for Canada's national side, has just a year remaining on his current contract with Lille, and the Ligue 1 side are open to selling this summer, rather than risk losing him on a free transfer next year. It's understood that David is on United's striker shortlist, and Lille have given a clear indication that they are prepared to sell their first-choice forward. "We have two players who have an exit voucher with Leno, Euro, and Jonathan David," Lille president Letang said this week. Meanwhile, Lille are also keen to extend the contract of former United midfielder Angel Gomes, who has just finished his third season with the French club. "He is 1 year from the end of his contract. We will open discussions to possibly extend, which would be logical," Letang said. There has been no discussion about a departure for Angel. Man United handed Joao Neves boost as Benfica star responds to contract offer. Joao Neves has turned down Benfica's offer of a new contract amid interest from Manchester United. United are keen to bring in a new midfielder this summer to replace Casemiro, with clubs in Saudi Arabia interested in signing the Brazil international. Neves has emerged as a transfer target for the Premier League side, with reports in Portugal suggesting Benfica have already rejected an offer of £51 million. The 19-year-old has a release clause of £105 million, the same fee Chelsea were forced to pay up for Enzo Fernandez 18 months ago, with Benfica desperate to keep him at the club for at least one more season. Benfica have already discussed a new contract with the player with a salary increase, Record report. But Neves has rejected that proposal as speculation mounts over a summer move. Should Neves leave, Benfica president Rui Costa wants a fee as close to that release clause as possible, but the report suggests negotiations could start at £85 million. Neves has linked up with United captain Bruno Fernandes, with both players set to feature for Portugal at this summer's European Championship. Fernandes has previously hailed the rise of the young midfielder, believing United should be in the market for his services. But Bernardo Silva, also in the Portugal squad, has urged Neves to consider a move to Manchester City. "It's not easy. He's a player who, due to the success he had last season, has many clubs that want him," Silva said. "As a Portuguese and a player I like, I would like to see him by my side. But I want the best for him. I don't need to convince him." Joao Neves is already convincing, with the way he works, with the energy he brings to the game. It will be easy for many clubs to enter the race. Let him make his decision, let it be the best for him. If he continues with this energy, he has a very good future ahead of him. Manchester United tipped to land Conor Gallagher. Manchester United are said to be looking to bolster their homegrown contingent as Sir Jim Ratcliffe gets his feet under the table at Old Trafford. Manchester United are set to enter something of a transitional period as new minority owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe gets to work at the club. The billionaire agreed a deal to buy a 29% stake in the Red Devils for a reported £1.3 million last month, and although the deal is still awaiting Premier League ratification, Ratcliffe and his right-hand man Sir Dave Brailsford are undergoing an audit of the club. According to The Sun, Ratcliffe is keen to invest in British players, starting with a new longer-term contract offer to Scott McTominay to try and stave off interest from Bayern Munich and West Ham in recent months. The Express have moved to identify a number of homegrown players that Manchester United could target in the near future, with Conor Gallagher an eye-catching inclusion on their list. There has been speculation regarding the England international's future at Chelsea in recent months, with the 23-year-old now into the final 18 months of his deal at Stamford Bridge. Gallagher has started all but one of the Blues' 21 Premier League games so far this season, but the club are said to ready to listen to offers for players whose deals are running down. With Tottenham strongly linked with the midfielder, Blues boss Mauricio Pochettino addressed the matter of Gallagher's future last month, saying, "I am talking before, this situation is between the club and the player. It's difficult for any coach to talk, It's a decision by the club and the player. I'm coaching the team, trying to make the best choice as possible to perform. At the moment, so far, he's doing well, fantastic for the team. He's playing because he deserves. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's 6 bombshell revelations in Man United interview as Real Madrid claim made. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has taken part in a rare interview to discuss his plans for the Red Devils in addition to a number of key issues moving forward. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has revealed his intentions for the club in a rare interview. The INEOS founder detailed his plans in addition to outlining several obstacles that are present moving forward. In a discussion with Bloomberg, the Red Devils chief discussed the Premier League, Nice, transfers and his ambitions for the Old Trafford club. Ratcliffe completed his purchase of 27.7% of United in February and has taken an active role since. The British billionaire has made a whole host of changes on and off the pitch, with the likes of Sir Dave Brailsford proving influential while the club's hierarchy is overhauled. With that said, Men's Sport has taken a look at some of the biggest points to be taken away from Ratcliffe's time in front of the camera. Real Madrid ambitions. It will come as little surprise that Ratcliffe will want to take Manchester United to the very top. Outlining Real Madrid's approach is not necessarily customary when discussing the shrewdest operators, even with the unmatched success the La Liga side have managed in Europe. There's room for improvement everywhere we look at Manchester United, and we will improve everything, explained Ratcliffe. We want to be competing for the Premiership every year and the Champions League every year. That's where we need to be, where Real Madrid is today, but it'll take time. I think Real Madrid have done a fabulous job. There's an interesting statistic. If you look at the 10 seasons since Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill left, Manchester United's net spend on players is £1.1 billion. United have not been mean with the checkbook. Real Madrid's over the same time is £200 million, which is surprising when you hear that, because today they have a squad where 6 or 7 players are valued at more than €100 million and Manchester United don't have any. And Real Madrid have probably built the finest football stadium in the world using the same checkbook. Transfer blow. Ratcliffe also revealed that United have already been dealt their first transfer blow of the summer. A UEFA ruling has already ensured that a player from Nice, believed to be Jean-Claire Todibo, cannot be permitted to make the move to United. Transfers cannot be made by clubs competing in the same competitions, in this instance the Europa League, when they share owners. We've got a player in Nice who was interested in Manchester United and he probably has the capability, Ratcliffe said. They've said, UEFA, we can sell him to another Premiership club, but we can't sell to Manchester United, but that's not fair on the player and I don't see what that achieves. United's co-owner also detailed what the club's approach will be moving forward. Despite citing Real Madrid as inspiration, Ratcliffe does not expect to make a Kylian Mbappé-like signing immediately. You have to look at the balance sheet, he said. I don't think the solution is to buy Mbappé. We're more grassroots. One player isn't going to solve the problem at Manchester United. We need to build a balanced squad and we need to make progress with the squad. Ultimately maybe you top it off with 1 or 2 players like Mbappé. It's not the solution today. For those hoping for a swift recovery after United's worst ever Premier League finish, they may need to be patient. Ratcliffe doesn't believe that a single transfer window will provide the solution, as sales and purchases must align with Premier League and UEFA financial regulations. The 71-year-old also voiced some frustration over the delay in establishing his new hierarchy. United are still negotiating with Newcastle for Dan Ashworth, while Omar Barada's move from rivals Man City was postponed as the CEO was put on gardening leave. Only technical director Jason Wilcox has been able to start his work promptly. I'm not confident we'll solve all of the problems in the first transfer window, no, Ratcliffe admitted. It will take time. Omar, Dan, Jason are key pillars of the sports side, we've only got Jason in place. We're sort of a bit handicapped in that sense, so I think we'll do a fairly good job. It will take 2 or 3 summer windows to get to a better place. Premier League warning. Ratcliffe emphasized his opposition to the idea of a government-imposed regulator and voiced significant worries about the present state of the Premier League, insisting that he would hate to see the prestigious division lose its status as the world's top league. He singled out the potential constraints that anchoring could inflict on clubs in light of recent amendments to profitability and sustainability guidelines. If you start interfering too much, bringing too much regulation in, then you finish up with the Manchester City issue, you finish up with the Everton issue, you finish up with the Nottingham Forest issue, on and on and on, the Ineos chief continued. If you're not careful, the Premier League is going to finish up spending more time in court than it is thinking about what's good for the league. We have got the best league in the world, don't ruin that league for heaven's sake. Anchoring would inhibit the top clubs in the Premier League. And the last thing you want is for the top clubs in the Premier League not to be able to compete with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG. That's absurd. And if it does, it then ceases to be the finest league in the world. Erik ten Hag's current situation. When can an endorsement not be considered a vote of confidence? Possibly when there have been talks around finding a successor that haven't yet solidified into anything tangible. Erik ten Hag might be in line for a new contract offer despite his role being seemingly downplayed by owner Ratcliffe's recent comments, which didn't exactly sing praises of the Dutchman's impact at United. The coach isn't the central issue at Manchester United, Ratcliffe declared, suggesting that ten Hag is not seen as the problem at the club. It's a sports club. It needs to be competitive, it needs a degree of intensity, but with a supportive side to it because you are dealing with players who are relatively young. It hasn't had that type of environment historically. Relationship between Man United and Nice. The dynamic between Nice and United has become more complex with both clubs qualifying for the Europa League. To comply with UEFA regulations, Nice has been placed under a trust. Despite these complications, there's no plan to sell the French club. Ratcliffe is looking to leverage his portfolio in an era where owning multiple clubs is becoming increasingly common among football's elite. The power structure may be predictable, but it's been explicitly stated in this case. It's not our intention to sell Nice, Ratcliffe explained. I like the concept of the multi-club, and Nice will be complementary for Manchester United. You can blood younger players in Nice because Manchester United sit at a higher level. It's tough to bring an 18 or 19-year-old, occasionally you get a Kobbie Mainoo, but it's difficult to blood those players, but at Nice you could do that. That would benefit Nice. Because of Brexit, it is difficult now to contract younger, generational talents in Europe, but Nice could do that. If there's a fantastic 15-year-old in France, we can sign him for Nice and use Nice as a conduit to Manchester United later on.